Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Alessandra Vernila. I am project officer at Eurisi, and I will be moderating this short webinar today. During the webinar, we will present for the first time the GIS4Schools project. The webinar will be recorded, so you will be free afterwards to share it within your social media channels. And the webinar is also has been also organized in the frame of the Erasmus 2020 days, Erasmus Days 2020. I'm sorry, considering the time constraints that we have, I think it's important to start directly. So I would like to introduce you to Elisa Filippi. Elisa will give us an overview on the GIS4Schools project. Elisa is project manager and co-founder at Euronique. She has a background in international studies and diplomacy, and she specialized in analysis and policies of local and regional development. She has also 10 years experience in the management of European projects, especially in the field of urban innovation and sustainability. Elisa, you have the floor.
Thank you. Hello. Good morning, everybody. Thanks, Alessandra, for this introduction, and thanks to all the partners, and thanks to the Erasmus Plus program and the national agency for having organized these Erasmus Days, which I think are really very important and great opportunity, in particular during this difficult time, to share projects, initiatives, and experience. My name is Elisa Filippi. I'm the project manager and co-founder of Euronique. Euronique is a not-for-profit association based in Italy, in the north of Italy, in Trentino. Euronique is also about enhancing the awareness of European Union policies and programs and opportunities, and to make these opportunities more accessible for organizations, businesses, and public authorities at any levels. So we are here today to present GIS4Schools, which is a strategic partnership in the field of schools education funded by Erasmus Plus program, and aimed at introducing new methodology based on the use of GIS technologies applied to the impact of climate change on the environment, and in order to improve STEAM's learning by pupils. I will present, excuse me. So we would like to say that with GIS4Schools project, the future is here. GIS4Schools is a project that prepares the future from our point of view, because it is addressed to the new generations. So the pupils in the secondary schools are the main players in this project, because it faces the climate change. We know that which is one of the most important global challenge and priority, and because GIS4Schools project tried to exploit the public investments in one of the most advanced sector, which is the geospatial technology. So first of all, why GIS4Schools? Why we have thought to present this proposal to the attention of the European Commission and European Plus program? We know that the number of students with a university background in STEAM matters is still low, unfortunately, in Europe and also in Italy. And we also know that pupils in secondary schools are facing and encountering difficulties in reading mathematics or science. So a third program has been made in this area. There is a strong need for improving STEAM education. In this sense, GIS4Schools project intends to promote a new go back here. A new approach for the involvement of pupils. Excuse me, again. Not able to. Okay. In STEAM learning by introducing in secondary schools the teaching of the GIS learning, and by applying it to the thematic area of climate change, which is of course receiving increasing attention by the European Commission and by the young generation. But why GIS and climate change? First of all, we are aware that GIS is important both from an educational and also public policy point of view. We know that GIS is a precious enabling tool for the engagement of pupils in analysis on the environment and community. And we also know that there is a strong investment from the European Commission in space programs such as Copernicus program, which is the European Union's Earth observation program, which provide quality data, which are the basis of any GIS geographic information system, and are extremely important for the monitoring of the environment and of the climate change. But not only the climate change, because we have observed in this months how they are also important in this time of health emergency. Anyway, in spite of this valuable data supply, there is still a low propensity to exploit this data because of a lack of a data culture in the society, weak analytical skills, and an insufficient understanding of their potential, even from a commercial point of view. So GIS4Schools try to combine these two issues, the two thematic, the climate change and the GIS, and the overall objective of the project is to encourage pupils in STEAM learning by promoting their active engagement in interdisciplinary projects, combining the GIS technologies learning and their awareness on the climate change and its impact on the climate environment, on the local environment. The project will involve during these activities about 24 teachers and almost 200 pupils in Europe. And then 200 teachers and 1,000 pupils will be involved as indirect beneficiaries. GIS4Schools project has also 5 specific objectives, which are to develop a secondary school reusable training package aimed at raising awareness and understanding on pupils on Earth observation, GIS, and climate change. And I think that Mr. Professor Brovelli will explain this objective, which is also an intellectual output during this webinar. To engage pupils in development of open source GIS products focused on climate change, to allow pupils to exploit this, here we are, to exploit the co-created GIS software and to analyze a concrete case study concerning the impact of climate change on the local environment, to increase the quality of training in STEAM by providing teachers with a self-paced training package, and at the end to promote in the midterm pupils' employability by enhancing their analytical abilities in a high growth potential sector, so space economy, and their propensity to choose STEAM for their university studies. GIS4Schools is a strategic partnership which has a transnational and multi-stakeholder partnership composed of 4 secondary schools, which are the school IT Marconi in Rovereto in Italy, the school Collegio Național Ion Neclu Bucharesti in Romania, the school Yes Marc Ferrer in Spain, in Formentera, a school is Escola Secundaria José Alfonso in Portugal. And for us, it's really important to stress the involvement of the schools in this project. And I would also like to say thanks again to the schools, because we know that are a tricky time for any of us, but in particular for schools. So we are really grateful to the schools to have accepted our invitation to be part of this project and to start these ambitious and challenging activities all together. We have, of course, one university, which is a Polytechnic of Milan, Euronic lead partner, and 5 organizations active in the field of education, space, and climate change. So Eagle Intuition from Portugal, which is mostly specialized in e-learning and training to teachers. Orisi, which has also organized this webinar, which is also the partner in charge for the coordination of the communication and dissemination activities. Associația Urba 2020, which is based in Romania and is specialized in the urban planning and to analyze the impact of the climate change on the mostly at urban level. And the Blue Bubble World, which is based in Spain and Formentera, and very focused on the GIS and GIS technologies, learning and exploitation. We also have 11 associated partners, and we think that this is a very important element. We have 2 municipalities in Italy and also in Romania, a regional authority, which is the Autonomous Province of Trento, the Italian Space Agency, which is of course very, very important for us, and other scientific partners around Europe. We think that the involvement of these associated partners will be extremely important, even to assure high level quality of the project activities, and mostly to enhance the impact of the GIS4Schools project activities and output. So we are really, really grateful also to all these associated partners to contribute to this project. And GIS4Schools project will also deliver 5 intellectual outputs. So the training package that will be presented to from the Mrs. Professor Brovelli. Then we will have a transfer of knowledge from the content of the training package to pupils in next year. So from March to June in 2021. And then we will have the GIS products, so a sample of GIS products co-created with pupils in their involvement. The e-learning platform, which we realized mostly with the support of the Association Urban 2020. Reports video from the school, so each school will deliver a video and also a written report, and of course the evaluation report and the elaboration of the policy guidelines to enhance the replicability of the outputs and results obtained by the GIS4Schools project. So this was my very short presentation. Of course, I'm still here to answer for your questions or curiosities. And thanks again for have joined this webinar. And yes, now I'll give the floor to Mrs. Brovelli.
Okay. Thank you very much, Elisa. Now, as you anticipated, I would like to give the floor to Professor Maria Antonia Brovelli. She will go more in depth talking about the training package. Professor Brovelli is a professor at GIS at the Polytechnic of Milan. She's also a member of the School of Doctoral Studies in Data Sciences at Sapienza University in Rome. Maria is also currently chairing a series of working groups. In particular, I want to mention the working group on collaborative crowdsourced cloud mapping of the International Society for Photogrammetry and Remote Sensing. She's also a member of the European Space Agency Advisory Committee on Earth Observation, and she's also a mentor of the Polimi National Chapter of Youth Mappers. Maria, you have the floor. Thanks.
Thank you so much. So I'm very happy of being here presenting GIS4Schools. I'm very happy also to see so many ladies in here. So I'm presenting GIS4Schools from the point of view of Politecnico di Milano, but I'm not alone. I'm presenting on behalf also of my colleagues, Daniela Carion and Marco Gianninetto. But let us start with Politecnico di Milano. Politecnico di Milano is the largest and best ranked technical university in Italy. As you can see from this slide, we have more than 45,000 students, so a huge number, impressive number of students, and all of them are from engineering, architecture, and design. Politecnico di Milano. Sorry, I want to close this one or to reduce it. No, okay, it's not possible. Politecnico di Milano has two main campuses in Milan and 5 campuses in the north of Italy, but we have also one campus in China. With respect to the people, to the permanent staff involved in this project, besides me, as I told you, I'm a professor of GIS. There is Professor Daniela Carion. She's also professor of fundamental of GIS, but also professor of geospatial data processing and mapping for crisis management. So very useful competencies with respect to this. And then Professor Marco Gianninetto, who is a professor of remote sensing, so Earth observation and survey. All of us, we work together in an interdepartmental lab, which is called the GeoLab, which stands for Geomatics and Earth Observation. We have a lot of affiliations with many international associations. Some of them were already mentioned before, but you can see here in the picture how many they are, starting from scientific associations, going to our involvement for young students, and this is Youth Mappers, and also supporting the activity of United Nations in many initiatives. But besides the permanent staff, I want also to show you the temporary staff, because those are the young people working with us and helping us and allowing us of doing all the research that we are doing. And so I want to take us the occasion of thanking them for all what they are doing. But speaking about research, what we are doing, we are working on geomatics and Earth observation, or specifically GIS and Earth observation. But the main topics we are dealing with are open source GIS, Earth observation, and then as now we are going towards a gigantic data to manage, we are also working on the big geodata. Data will be in the future completely or mainly available on the web. So another topic of our research is the geospatial web, which is a recent concept, but we don't want to leave behind people, normal people, citizens. And so we are also very active in what is called voluntary geographic information and citizen science. For sure, we are working on geospatial science as the most of the GIS center. And with respect to applications, so we are more focused on environmental applications, applications related to sustainable development goals. And just to mention a relevant example, the example is that of land cover, which is of particular importance because it's one of the essential climate variables, one of the variables that is studied for analyzing the climate change. Coming to the project, what is the motivation, or better, what is the framework? We believe that there is a very important communication given by the European Commission recently. The name of this communication, of this document, is Shaping Europe's Digital Future. And specifically, if you go to the heading An Open, Democratic and Sustainable Society, you discover that one of the key actions, there are 8 key actions, and one of them is the Destination Earth. What is Destination Earth? Destination Earth is the initiative to develop a high-precision digital model of the Earth, what is called the digital twin of the Earth. And this has to be done in order to improve Europe's environmental prediction and crisis management capabilities. And this initiative of the European Commission will start from 2021. And this is the reason why our project is really timely, because we are starting more or less at the same time. And the other relevant point is that Earth observation and geospatial information, so GIS, which are the 2 main focus of this project, will become fundamental tools in creating and using the digital twin Earth. Let's come to the strictly to the aim of the project. As already Elisa said before, the main point is that GIS is not so taught at the elementary and secondary school. And the main reason is that because there is a shortage of specialized trained teachers, and there are difficulties in establishing a dialogue with the industry sector. We know that the pupils are digital native, but they are not necessarily acquainted with the managing, processing of specifically these typologies of data that we want to propose them. Therefore, this project, the GIS4Schools, aims at filling exactly this gap. And the way we want to fill this gap is by means of co-creation. So co-creating new methodologies to enhance students' abilities in understanding, capturing, using, exploiting those data which are georeferenced data, and by using GIS tool for climate actions. Elisa very nicely presented before the outputs, the intellectual outputs. I want now to enter more in details in 2 intellectual outputs we are leading as Politecnico di Milano. The first one is the output about the design and implementation of the train package. What are the risks, what were the risks that we envisage with respect to these output? The first difficulty we reasoned about was the difficulty in transferring the content of the training package directly to pupils in the class. And therefore, in order to overcome this kind of risk, we decided to train the trainers, to train the teachers. As first, the teachers will participate in a joint short-term training event, And then there will be a help desk system available, which will provide remote assistance to teachers through videos, webinars, on-demand training contents, and so on. Specifically, this course that we are designing in the next month will be designed taking into account what are the specific knowledge and skills of the learners, so the teachers, which will be strongly involved in the preparation as well of the material and the course. In the end, what we want to transfer as competencies to the teachers before and then to the pupils is how to use GIS and how to make analysis using GIS, how to use GIS for visualization and communication of maps, but not only maps, of concepts related to the climate by means of the map. And obviously, we need also to let them know about Earth observation and imagery analysis, because they are one of the main data sources that we can use for managing this kind of problem. And then the last point that we wanted to discuss with them and to teach them is about the geospatial data management, specifically related to climate change and hazard, with obviously a focus on the Copernicus. Therefore, what we will produce for the teachers will be an interactive book with hyperlinks, which allow easily to browse the book itself, the training book itself. And then we will have a training workshop of 4 days for the teacher. Even if I told you before, also there will be a long support activity which will follow remotely. After that, the learning activities carried out by the teacher will involve 180 pupils for a total of 30 hours for every class. Obviously, we have some deliverable and specifically webinars, videos, the help desk, the training package that will be available for everyone because it will be a web product, and then the 4 learning activities implemented in the 4 secondary schools involved in the. Then we are also leading a second output, which is the suite of open source GIS products co-created with the pupils' involvement. In this case, the risk that we want to avoid is to not to be aligned with the pupils' knowledge and technical abilities. And therefore, for solving this problem, the GIS projects will be specifically customized on the information technology skill of the class. Then, in addition to that, in order to reduce, to eliminate every kind of barriers, the pupils which will be trained by the teachers, but guided by Politecnico di Milano, they will be provided also with the presence and the support ensured by the partners organization based in every country. So they will not be alone. There are huge of people who can help in contributing in the development of these part of activities. And then at this point, the students will co-create their GIS products, learning how to use GIS with this approach, which is the approach of learning by doing. And what are the competencies that we are expecting to transfer to the students? Data manipulation, so this specific kind of data, geodata manipulation, the design and development of the required procedure to obtain the GIS project, the development of open training material on climate challenges, using GIS and based on the underlying science and the technology they approach. The result will be also an open material composed by hands-on exercises proposed by the students, and we have two different kind of contributions. One contribution that will be one case study, one local case study related to the place where the students live, and a second case study where they will readapt their project for investigating exactly the same problem, but with one developing country, in such a way to have the possibility of transferring this material to developing countries and creating directly a contact between our students and the students in the developing countries. Each school will involve 2 classrooms for a total of 180 pupils and 24 teachers. You see also in this case, we have some tangible deliverables like the webinar organized by Polytechnic, the videos and training material addressed to pupils, the GIS projects output related to the local climate challenge, and then the GIS projects output in which the student transfer the case study in the developing countries. And I believe that that's all for my presentation. Thanks a lot for your attention, and thanks again to Elisa for coordinating the.
Thank you very much, Professor Brovelli. I would like to bring the attention and the focus on a school, actually. So we have a school representing here. It is the Ione Culce National College Bucharest. Two speakers for this. We have Andrea Dalupulescu, which will represent Urban 2020 Association, one of the partner of the project itself, and Andrea Ionescu from the Ione Culce National College in Bucharest. So Andrea and Andrea, you have the floor. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me? Can you see my presentation? Can you see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Hello, I'm Andrea Ionescu, and I'm a geography teacher from Ione Culce National College from Bucharest, Romania. And me and my team are happy to be part of this project, GIS4Schools. And we want to thank you for this opportunity for this project. First of all, I want to show you a short video presentation about our school. This video, it was created about by our students for an Erasmus project a few years ago. Yes, some characteristics about our school. Ione Culce National College is a public high school and secondary school in Bucharest. We have over 1,000 students. with several specialization paths such as intensive foreign language, English, Italian, German, and French, computer sciences, natural sciences, social sciences, and philology. There are 4 classes per generation studying STEM subjects. We have a lot of opportunities for our students, like national and international contests for every subject. And also we are a certified center for the ACDL. Something about our Erasmus experience, past and current. We were involved in SOPRA project, Erasmus, and the SPEED, and also in ACT, Learn, and Impact for 2-3 years. Here you can see some pictures from our school and from Italy with with our students. Role inside the project, Ione Culce National College will involve 6 teachers in the training activities to understand the use of the tool and transfer the knowledge to the students. They will actively and strongly contribute to the realization of GIS products that will help them understand the impact of climate change on their local context, and that will be then shared with the wider community through online platform. The main target group inside Ione Culce National College will be formed by 50 students directly involved in the project. A greater number of students is expected to benefit indirectly from the project results. Our participants will be selected by a strategy. There will be 6 teachers, 2 teachers from IT curricula, 2 teachers from natural sciences, and 2 from social sciences specialization. By criteria, they will selected by didactic skills, criteria, language skills, and of course is not a limit of age, and it's an equal opportunities for every teacher. Students will be chosen from the first and the second year of high school. We will selected 50 students, 10 from STEM class for the first year, and 40 students from STEM classes second year. Students will be selected based on interest in the subject, involvement in activities relevant to the project. Something about Urban 2020. I will let my colleague Andrada Lupulescu to present something.
Hello, I am the representative. Can you put the screen back on?
Yes, I don't know.
Or it's not working like that?
Okay, can you see?
No. Yeah, okay, thank you. I'm the representative of Urban 2020. We are an idea lab organized as a non-profit organization aiming at supporting our vision for the cities of the future by developing and implementing initiatives, products, and services. Ensuring our objectives are, I will read some of them, ensuring the quality of life, sustainability, and smart development of local communities and at urban and regional level in Romania and beyond. Supporting participations of citizens and youth to decision-making, actively reducing the gaps between rural and urban areas, developing urban and rural communities, supporting good governance and partnerships within the public sector, academic institution, private sector, research and companies, encouraging social innovation and integration, and reducing the divide between Romania and the Western Europe, and stimulating the exchange of experiences. We are supporting Colegiul Național Ion Neculce from Bucharest, Romania, throughout the project. During the overall implementation process and in organizing events, the NGO will help in the implementation of the activities conducted by providing its thematic expertise for the selection of the local challenge and for the development and readaptation of the GIS output projects. Thank you.
Multiplier events will be organized in Bucharest, Romania, by our college, and with the help Urban 2020, Eurasi, and Euronic. The principal aims are to present the GIS4Schools project objectives and partnerships and the results in terms of what will be elaborated at partnership level, but also by the students, in order to raise awareness and interest in other schools and organizations, in order to increase their interest in the STEAM approach and in the adoption of the developed solutions. Teacher will have the chance to describe how they have transferred in the contests to the pupils and what kind of feedback they are receiving. The event will be addressed to a local and regional audience, including other local and regional schools from Bucharest, NGO and others associations active in the field of education, schools managers, and Romanian Erasmus and National Agency. Expected impacts and results. Curriculum diversification, strengthened language skills. Students will be more familiar with such tools and will be more aware of climate change. Impact of institutional level, transferable results to other institutional, impacts on teachers. The results will be disseminated around the school and at the local level of the first districts of Bucharest, a new extension of the didactic horizon, impact on students, teamwork, development of new abilities such as analysis, interrogation of new tools. Expected results, the replication of the project in the same partnership to expand the activity. The results will be open source. The project will give further support to the Faculty of Geography of University of Bucharest. And the final report will also contain the methodology to summarize the experience and know-how for further implementation of the project. Thank you. If you have some questions.
Very much, Andrea. Thank you very much, Andrea, for your presentation. And now it's time to go to the last presentation. Last but not least, we have Annalisa Donati. Annalisa is a Director of Activity in Eurasi. She joined us in January 2020. She is in charge of the operational management of the team and implementation of an active communication strategy towards the end users. And she's also overseeing another series of activities. Before joining Eurasi, Annalisa was also a research fellow at the European Space Policy Institute in Vienna, and before that she was a young graduate trainee at the Industrial Policy and SME European Space Agency. Annalisa, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. I hope everybody can see my screen. I will be very, very brief and I will just briefly introduce what EURISI is doing and which will be our role in this amazing consortium. Before doing that, I would just like to thank Alessandra for moderating this session, and I would like to add my congratulations to the voice of Professor Maria before for having this amazing women panel today, which is not so usual for us working in the space sector to see like so many women. So it's very nice and great for EURISI to be part of this consortium, and this is basically the content of my presentation. What I will explain you is a little bit what EURISI does and who we are, what we do, and why EURISI in this context, and the next step for the GIS4Schools project in for EURISI, basically. So we also are a non-for-profit association. We've been founded in 1989 by Hubert Curien, who was the former French Minister for Science and Technology. And this is the reason why we're based in Paris. And we have been mandated by our members, which are mostly space agencies across Europe, to basically bridge the gap between space and society. So here you have a little bit of an overview of all our members, which, as I was mentioning, are mostly space agencies or national offices dealing with space affairs in across Europe. And to go a little bit more in the details of what EURISI is doing, we basically like to think about ourselves that we bring added value to innovation projects. We basically champion users' need, and this is what we will do also in this project by mapping the need of the end users communities that will benefit from the space and satellite-based application data. And we basically support the communication, the dialogue between different kind of institutions, from local authorities to SME, national ministries, industry and academia. What we mostly do is we explore with the users what space can do for them, and the best way to penetrate the communities with space products. We connect space and non-space, and we advise policymakers about bottlenecks, about all the issues and the barriers that might arise in the uptake of space-based and satellite-based services. Here again, I mean, being us a non-profit association, we are based on a membership basis, and here it's recapped a little bit of how you can benefit by being a EURISI members, and it's very connected with what we're doing. So there is the basically network opportunities to exchange with other European stakeholders, to collaborate beyond the traditional boundaries of the space communities. And through EURISI, you can reach out to a lot of different users communities which are part of our network. Then we have visibilities, opportunities, because EURISI works very much in the communication and promotion of the activities that are performed. And we do that through social media, through our newsletter, which right now reach more than 6,000 people across Europe. And we do that also through the organization of events, which right now is a little bit more difficult given the situation. But of course, we switch on a digital basis, and we are able to still reach out a huge number of people, and also to get insight from both, not only the space community, but also all the relevant communities for the different services that you would like to promote. And the recognition, which is what we are doing through our awards, and through the influence and the leverage that we can have in the agenda of different institutions, starting from the European institutions, going down to the local and municipal authorities. here come GIS4Schools, and basically what we are doing is that we are the leader of the communication and dissemination work package, and we have basically list here in this slide some of the next activities that will be performed in the next couple of months. So what we are doing, it's mostly right now what we will do, it's the website, which will be the main channel of communication for the project. So all the people that are interested will know more through this tool. We will also support the building of the repository, which will allow everybody to actually access the material and what will be produced by the project itself. More for internal purposes is clearly the communication and dissemination plan, which will include a sustainability plan that for us it's very relevant. As Elisa mentioned before, and this project aims also at being replicable, and this is why for us it's paramount to show the sustainability of the project. Also, the communication is important because we want to go way beyond the 4 schools that are involved currently, and to do so we have to enhance the results and the benefit of this project for the schools. We will be in situ, we will go in the schools, we will ask pupils about what they believe of this project and how they which was their experience, and we want to share this with as much people as possible. And it is for these reasons that we plan to have like about 16 project newsletter, video and presentations. We will have webinars to basically share progresses, and we already created some of the channels also in the most known social media. So we will have a page on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter and LinkedIn for indeed a total of at least 500 posts and more than 1,000 interaction by the end of the project. We will be also supporting the organization of the multiplier event. The multiplier event will be the occasion in which we will share not only the progresses, but also the intellectual outcome of each working package with the external audience and with the general public. With what concern the next step also in our list of activities is basically the proposal of a logo. We want indeed to engage as much as possible the pupils that are part of this endeavor, and to do so we want to start from the very beginning. So we want them to decide which in their opinion is the best logo for this project. I will tell you a little bit more in a couple of seconds. And the validation of the website structure. So this is mostly for our partner, and we need to agree on the different functionalities of the website. And we open already the social media accounts. So for everybody that is following this webinar and that would like to know a little bit more about the projects, please do not forget to follow our social media channels. And the draft of the communication plan, this is due for the February 2021, but of course an extract and an index or a table of content will be available in the next couple of weeks. And we will also create a networking database of the projects where all the similar initiatives, or basically the initiatives that can be interested in sharing with us their views and their project outcomes will be included. We will need, of course, for this communication and dissemination plan, all the help of all the different stakeholders involved. And we will launch very soon the first kickoff meeting, which will take place the 29th and the 13th of October next. And finally, on my side, I would like to share this logo competition. the objective, as I mentioned, is mostly to engage the students and all the partners from the very beginning of the project, and we want also to provide additional visibility to the project itself among our network, but also towards the general public. And how we will do so? So we will basically have 3 logos that will be shared during the kickoff meeting by the end of the month. And we will share those 3 logos in our social media accounts, in the social media accounts of our partners, and also in those ones devoted to the project. We will set an online pool so everybody can be able to vote for their favorite logo. And basically we will select the logo according to the votes that we will get from the web, and it's going to be basically the most liked logo according to the votes of everybody. So we look forward for this activity, and we also look forward to start this project and to go a little bit more through the different actions that are in front of us. So I hope I'm still within the time. I thank you everybody for your attention and for being here with us today. I give back the floor to Alessandra. Thanks.
Thank you, Annalisa. Thank you very much. We are more or less in time. We have a couple of minutes for some questions. So if anyone from the audience to ask anything to the participants, sorry, to the speakers, please, this is the right moment to do that. But I have a question actually for you, which is related to COVID-19. So this is one of the biggest challenges that we're facing these days. And my question is how COVID-19 will impact, and actually if will impact, on the activities related to the project.
I can take it up a little bit on my side because, I mean, given that Eurisi is the leader of the communication activities, for sure for us there is a big impact in the sense that, of course, also the didactic activities needs to be performed in person, and this is creating there is a big debate around this point right now, but for our events and for all the communication we set up also digital tools. So as you can see today, I mean, we are able to basically be online and share all the material through the digital tools. And we hope that soon we will be able to be back to the usual in-person activities.
Thank you, Annalisa. Please, Elisa.
Yeah, thanks, Alessandra. Well, we will try to avoid or at least reduce as much as possible any impact of the COVID-19 on the project activities. We are in a certain way, we are lucky because the first phase of the project, in the first phase of the project, schools are not so directly involved, so they will have the proper time to organize and plan the activities with pupils that will be carried out in the second semester of the scholastic year. Yeah, I think that we have to try to plan the project with planning, taking always into account also a plan B, of course, but we will try to do as much as possible the activities in presence according to the disposal and all the security and safety provisions. Create a plan B, and most of all, I think try to carry out this activity with hope and yeah, with the enthusiasm that we have right now. So I think that if we are lucky, we will say next year that COVID-19 will not have so much impact on our activities.
Thanks, Elisa. I don't know if from the school, or also Professor Brovelli, if you want to say something about it.
I can add just something related to the fact that luckily we are using digital data and we are using software. So this is a good advantage, in my opinion, because despite the fact that obviously I believe that teaching in presence is another thing, because it's more empathic. You have direct contacts with pupils or also teachers. By the way, now after we had the last semester totally online with our students. This semester with our students at the university is with blended classes, means partially online, partially in presence. And yeah, it's not the same, but it is possible. I believe that is the minor of the problems now. And I'm pretty sure that the topic is interesting. We will do our best to help also the students appreciate the topics.
Thank you very much. And from Andrea, from the school perspective on this.
Here is the same. The last semester it was just online, and it was hard for students, for children. But now we have a part of class at home and a part at the school, and it's okay, but it's not the same. It's not the same thing. I mean, it's a big difference. They have to wear the mask every time, and they can't go outside in the break, and yeah, it's but we hope to to meet together with every classes, and also I really hope to meet you for real life maybe next year. And
fingers crossed on what will come next. Okay, so I don't see other questions from the audience, and actually we kind of delayed a bit the webinar, so I think we can conclude it here. I would like to thank all the speakers for participating today, and also to all the participants.